Hello there, and welcome to the Pint-Sized Healing Podcast. My name is Max Thompson. Let's get started. So, this whole month over at SwanWaters, we've been writing and talking about um, complicated emotions when the going gets tough, and a lot of those situations are to do with feelings of failure and feelings of guilt and all that kind of stuff. But one of the emotions that I think is perhaps, or at least really, I find really tricky to deal with because there's some societal opinions about it as well, is anger. And the thing with anger is we often think like, oh, we shouldn't be angry. We should try and be adults and be rational. And, there's a real kind of judgment about expressing anger. But the thing is, if you're feeling angry, and to be honest, if you're recovering from abuse, then you probably have a fair few reasons, good reasons, solid reasons why you would want to feel angry. So go ahead and feel angry. At the same time, if, like I said, if you're feeling angry about the abuse, yes, good for you. If you don't, though, good for you. It's really complicated because, you know, I it took me a really long time actually to really understand this. When I first got to terms with the abuse, when I first started really understanding what was going on or what had been going on in my family and how that influenced me, and I pretty quickly actually decided to break contact with my family, and it was very interesting because my partner who'd also experienced some and had been target of some of the abuse of my family, he was very angry about the whole experience, and I just didn't feel that much anger. And also, I am just, when I do feel anger, I express that a lot less explosively than my partner does. But um, but I felt kind of bad for not feeling angry enough. And I know that may sound really silly, like, but I felt like I should be feeling angry because, it's a real injustice that happened. And, but I just didn't really have that much anger to tap into, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is whether or not you're feeling anger, it is a valid emotional response. And, don't let anyone tell you that you should or shouldn't feel anger about what happened to you because, well, it's entirely up to you and it's entirely, your own personal emotional processing plant. So, go for it. The only thing that I want to say about anger, if you are experiencing it, is not to stay in that feeling too much. Find ways to express the anger, find ways of venting the anger, because hanging on to it, it's it's not good for you. It's going to find a place in your body, and it is going to make you sick, quite literally. Is It's Mark Twain that says anger is like an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it's stored than to anything which it is poured upon. And I think it's very good to keep that in mind. As valid as anger is as a response, it is not something that you want to hang on to um, for the rest of your life, because it's not that makes it unhealthy. Um, Often, what we feel that if we let go of the anger, then we're letting our abusers get away with it. We almost see it as a, oh, that means that we're just making excuses for them, or we're letting them get away with it. And if you're kind of looking for that cosmic justice, right? Like, oh, why is karma not taking care of them? Well, you know what? If you're coming at it from a place of anger, then karma isn't so much cosmic justice as it is revenge. So, that's not perhaps the most healthy, emotionally balanced place to come at this from. And if you are not And if you're not feeling anger, I mean, that's fine. There's nobody is telling you that you have to, but it is good to kind of consider for yourself whether you're not feeling anger because you are somehow pushing it down because you think that anger is not socially acceptable, or whether you're just, you know, processing your experiences in a different way. And perhaps you're just not feeling anger yet. What isn't here now can still come on later. I mean, it took me quite a while to kind of connect to my anger, but I did eventually connect to my anger, and I worked through it. And my sofa and my pillows got a got a beating for it. But it's like, I think a lot of times when we do feel anger, finding physical ways, becoming quite physical is a good way to kind of vent that energy from our system. And I know that Aubrey, for example, this in one of her articles describes her favorite way of venting anger by going outside into her garden and pounding the ground with a hammer. And I think, that's I didn't have a garden, so what I often did, I lived in an apartment building at the time, and what I would do was just go down the stairs and take the lift down the stair and walk up 7 flights of stair, just to get rid of that sort of excess energy that anger brings to the table. So, whether you're feeling anger or not, it's fine, but make sure that you're not trying to push it down, and also make sure that you're not holding on to your anger from an from a place of holding your abuser responsible for what they did. You can do that without hanging on to your anger. So, having said that, that's anger for today. And I can talk about this for another 5 hours probably, but I'm not going to. I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you next week for the next Pint-Sized Healing Podcast. Until then, bye.